So guys, as you both know, I'm a really big fan of One Piece. And the current arc is very hyper. But I've decided I said to myself that I'm not going to speak about the current arc in a lot of detail until it's finished, whenever that is. But it got me thinking, and as you both know, I had a pirate party on the weekend. It got me thinking, how about we play a little game, boys? I have a quiz.
Playing a game.
I have a quiz.
Aw.
I have a quiz for you two. And because I know that, well, Chris doesn't know One Piece, and
No.
Brandon, you don't really know One Piece.
No.
You're kind of on the same level. So I've got a game. Is it a pirate or a pirate not?
Pie not.
A pirate not. I don't know.
Ya or nah?
Pretty much. That's better. Yar or nar. Are
Bring
they
it.
are they a real pirate or are they a One Piece pirate? So
Okay.
I have 10 names. Some of these One Piece characters, for example, are their full proper name, because there's a couple that have like nicknames and I haven't put them in because otherwise it'd be a bit more obvious. But I've got 10 names, and we'll see how you guys do.
Bring it.
Go on then.
I'm gonna go with an easy one first. Senor Pink.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Is that?
Yeah, I'm guessing that's a One Piece.
I'm guessing it's a One Piece.
You're both correct. Edward Teach.
I'd say that's a real pirate.
Yeah, I'll go for real as well.
You are both correct. That is Blackbeard.
His real name's Edward Peach.
Yes, that is
Bloody hell.
Blackbeard.
That sounds like he's, gone to like Cambridge University to study, I don't know, accounting or something.
No,
But then he's like, you know what? Rather than steal from the rich, I'm gonna steal from everyone.
no.
He failed in accounting, but he got a minor in pillaging, so he just carried on pirating.
In One Piece, he's called Marshall D. Teach.
Marshall D. Teach.
Oh dear.
There is a reason for all the D in the names in One Piece.
Well, like Monkey D. Luffy.
Yeah.
They like the D.
Indeed.
They just want one piece of it, though.
Edward Newgate.
That sounds like it'd be a real pirate.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with One Piece. Newgate sounds a bit fictional.
Brandon, you are wrong.
I like this one winning.
Yeah. So Edward Newgate is Whitebeard in One Piece.
Okay. Bring it. Okay, so what is that? 2-1.
Indeed. Well, 3-2, but yeah.
Granted, yeah. Bring it.
Look, we can't all be as good at accounting as Blackbeard.
Bartholomew. No, not.
Bartholomew.
Bartholomew Sharp.
That doesn't.
Well,
I have a feeling a Japanese voice actor would have a very hard time trying to pronounce that as an actual anime character.
yeah, I'm gonna say that's real because you couldn't pronounce it. 'Cause you've
Yeah.
not heard.
Yeah, I'll go for real.
You're right. But there is a character in One Piece called Bartholomew Kuma. There is also a One Piece character called Bartholomew.
Okay.
I said the One Piece character first, and I was like, that's not who I'm saying. He's not even on this list. Thomas Pound.
Thomas Pound.
Yeah, Thomas Pound.
Thomas Pound. Tim Pound. Okay. I'm gonna go for real again.
I was going to go for One Piece.
Chris, you're right.
Damn, fuck's sake.
Generally speaking, if it sounds more stupid, then it's gonna be real.
That's why I've been trying to find the names that seem a bit. Oh, that sounds more real for a One Piece character, to try and throw you guys off.
It's certainly working.
So, Richard Hawkins. I had to do. I had to.
Well,
He
I'd say
actually
that's a real
listens to the
person.
podcast as well.
Please tell me he's a real pirate.
Well, if Richard Hawkins listens to the podcast, then surely he's fictional.
Right, Rich, please tell me, are you a real pirate or a One Piece pirate? Can I ask the audience? Can I phone a friend? Can I ask Rich?
I don't know. Don't think you'll know. But is Richard Hawkins a real pirate or a One Piece pirate?
I'll stick with One Piece.
I'm going to go real.
Brandon, you are correct.
Yes!
Bollocks, I hate this game. I'm losing. Fuck this.
You still beat me by what, 1 or 2 points?
That's not the point. I got it wrong.
Charlotte DeBerry.
Oh, that sounds One Piecey.
It does, but it also sounds dumb, so I'm going to go with real.
Wait, so what did you say?
I'd say it's real.
And I say One Piece.
Chris, you're right.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I like this game again.
Jory Bonnie.
One Piece.
Duracell Bunny.
Jory Bonnie.
You know what? I'm going to go with One Piece on this one.
Yeah, joint One Piece.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that sounded too stupid.
Eustace Kidd.
Real.
I was going to say real as well.
Well, in One Piece, he has a metal arm.
That's Full Metal Alchemist, mate.
Yeah.
You're wrong. Last one. Dracule Mihawk.
One Piece.
Real.
He's from One Piece, mate.
Yeah.
Strongest swordsman.
Arse. What's the final scores?
I think you beat me by like 1 point or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
Yes, my lack of knowledge comes through once again. And I think we may have the longest opening section on an episode so far.
There we go.
Well done, everyone. I think we're all winners. Except I'm the winner.
I was going to say, I'm definitely not a winner.
I was doing it, and I was like, I saw Richard Hawkins, and I was like, I had to include that name just for you, Brandon.
Rich, if you're listening, thank you for pulling through.
And if you're not Richard, then thank you for listening as well.
Yeah.
I guess I enjoyed that.
Yeah. So all our fellow pirates out there, we're sorry if we left your name off, but there's an awful lot of them.
I was going to say, speaking of, obviously, Dan, you mentioned at the start that we had the pirate-themed party for your birthday.
Yeah.
Shall we describe what my idea of the costume for the party was?
Yes, please. Because I was Monkey D. Luffy from One Piece, but you, on the other hand,
I was a DVD pirate. So you had everyone like dressed as with like cutlasses, they had hats, eye patches, and everything like that. Whereas I come with a folder with 15 DVDs in them, and I've got this folder of DVDs right next to me. So I'm going to read out what my pirated DVDs were that I brought to this party. So, in no particular order, the first DVD I had, literally all of these DVDs are just blank CDs, which I got from like the market in Leicester. And I just basically got a Sharpie and just wrote something topical on them. So the first CD, which so I literally went round and it just basically showed everyone my piracy. So the first one was Mother Knows Breast, which for anyone who doesn't know is a meme from Trash Taste. I've also got Netflix, like all of Netflix, but not spelled with an X at the end. It's got CKS on the end. I've got Jackass Forever because, you both went out and watched it and I didn't, so I had to dodgily download it. I've got Brokeback Mountain with the lovely hearts next to it because, this hell's a special place. I've got Elden Ring as well. So that's quite nice. I've got all of One Piece on just one DVD. Not just a few of them, but all of them. I've got every virus from LimeWire. I've got the Victory Retrieve podcast. By the way, it's now available on Amazon. We've got it on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Music. So make sure you listen to it there. I've got download. Yeah, and Audible. I've got Download Festival 2018-2019 Drunk Stuff. I've got the Windows operating system and then a blank one at the end. And I thought that was a really genius costume for a pirate party.
I was going to say, if you had the one thing from LimeWire, it should have been the song Numb by Linkin Park, Drowning Pool, Korn, Death.
Darude Sandstorm.
All of them have done Numb, apparently.
But yeah, I just thought it was just literally I had like 10 minutes. I was like, right, let's just quickly write down some hot stuff, which has just happened recently. So I thought, okay, let's just do all that. Yeah, so I was quite proud of my costume.
Yeah, and I couldn't go because I was ill, so I was just at home copying my floppy.
You were too busy having the Rona.
Yes, I was. Don't get the Rona, kids. Become a pirate instead. That's far more cool.
Yeah, the only viruses you get are from LimeWire and uTorrent.
Frostwire, mate. That's what I used to do.
I never used that one.
You know? Oh,
No,
I used to use another one, but I'm trying to remember the name of it. I'll be damned if I can remember. I think it had a K in it. Fucked if I can remember. It was a long time ago. All I remember is like it taking like half an hour to download a song, and we thought that was fast back in the day. It's like, look at that! It's going at 3 kilobytes an hour. Fucking yes! Look at it go! Look at that green bar go! Look at that virus downloading.
Well, let's get the show on the road.
Bring it.
Welcome to Victory Achieved Podcast, a video game podcast. I'm Dan, and we're Brandon and Chris. Like always, the trio. We are.
Yeah, we are a trio.
We are
Essentially
indeed.
are a trio, aren't we?
You can't have 3 without a 1 and a 2.
This is a terrible metaphor. Shall we start again?
I'll just cut it.
Three piece. We can be 3 piece the anime.
I was going to say, we're definitely not as good as accountants as Blackbeard.
Hell no. Nah, keep this in. This is fun.
So, I'm going to put it out there straight away. I've not played any new games, except one I've been playing is Elden Ring. I beat Renala. I may have used my summons, and I felt bad. I shouldn't have done it. But then I went against General Radahn. Fuck me, that boss is awesome. And that's about where I am with Elden Ring. So I don't need to say any more. I don't need to waste 10 minutes, an hour on Elden Ring. That's all I've got to say. Still love it. My game of the year. I can't see that changing. Cool.
And then my update on Elden Ring is I've also beat Renala, and I've been backtracking through all the areas which I think I've missed, and that's where I am now.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, whereas I've beaten the game for the second time, using my stupid character with no armor, magic only. The final fight of which I uploaded up to YouTube. So,
I'm not watching that for obvious reasons.
Spoilers.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, it's there if you want to see just how stupid I am.
When I finish it, I'll watch it.
I had a lot of attempts. I don't know what number attempt that was, the one that finally uploaded. But it was a lot. Oh my god. I thought I was going to beat the game on one stream. And I threw myself at the last boss for like well over an hour. I was like, yeah, I'm going to have to do another stream of this. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. I wasn't even close. Oh dear. But yeah. Yes, Elden Ring. Still a very good game. I may have started a third playthrough.
I won't put it past you.
I've got to the point now. It's like, you know, like you've got all your different like builds and equipment. It's like, I never use like dragon incantations. So I was like, I know, I'll use only dragon incantations on my third playthrough. See how we go. And then swiftly realised that it's actually not possible because there's no way you can get one without at least killing a dragon.
I was gonna say, like, when you said it, I was like, I think Chris is going to encounter a problem here.
Yes, I did do the closest thing possible. I got the basically the like the faith build equivalent.
Mm-hmm.
Who starts off with like combustion, and I thought, well, that's a bit dragony, isn't it? It's like the closest thing I've got to an attacking move, so I'll just roll with that. But I managed to get to a dragon commune, and then I managed to do it. So yeah, it's up and running.
Nice.
It remains to be seen how I get on with that. I might get bored of it after a while because maybe I've just burnt out after like doing like over 200 hours of it. Maybe I need a break for it. So, shall we talk about different games?
Yes.
Go for it.
So, I know you did mention it a while back, Brandon, but you have finally finished Little Nightmares.
Yes, and just shortly, well, halfway through last week, I actually finished the last bit of Little Nightmares. Like, it's been out for ages, and obviously all the big YouTubers playing it, but I've never actually watched a YouTuber play it through, so I never actually knew what the ending was. And at first, the ending sort of really confused me, but I know I was just like, it's a really interesting ending to it. Like, at first, I was just like, what the hell? There's this mirror on the floor, and there's this just random. It took me a while to find the random lights, and I was just like, what the fuck am I doing? I just could not figure out what the hell I'm doing. But it's just obviously the build up to the end as well, where you're on like going past the feast and all the people just eating. I was like, then finding out you're actually on just one massive ship, and it's just I really enjoyed it. But if I see Little Nightmares 2 on offer, I'm definitely going to pick it up, just so I can see what like the actual further ending is.
I think I always get confused with Little Nightmares. I think it's not the same studio that did Inside. I'm thinking of.
You're thinking of Limbo.
Yeah, I knew I was. I always think it's the same, and then I like Google search Little Nightmares, and it's like, no, this is something completely different. I'm thinking of Limbo and Inside, not Little Nightmares. Has nothing to do with them.
No,
it's a similar sort
gameplay.
of concept. Yeah, similar concept and gameplay of the 2D world, just working your way through everything.
Yeah,
I think
small
that's
child
why.
in a world at once.
Like the Limbo and Inside are like more silhouette than Little Nightmares.
Oh yeah.
Little Nightmares seems a bit like, I don't want to say evil, but like, I guess like dark Sackboy kind of looking things. Am I right on that?
Well, they're not really Sackboy sort of things. They're like gnomes. Well, your character is a gnome sort of thing. You're just basically, like what George from bloody It wore, the yellow Macintosh. You're basically just wearing this giant yellow Macintosh.
Yeah.
And you've got like a lighter for light. You just basically wake up in a cage, you escape the cage, and you're just basically going through. Then along the way, you have to sneak past like a butcher, a guy with long arms who's blind, the actual chefs, the cleaners, the actual people, the executives who are eating on this boat. Then the sort of like the female witch overlord thing, who's basically probably like circumventing the whole thing. But yeah, that's the basic concept of it. But obviously there's some dark elements which happens. Like there's a few points like maybe like every quarter of the way through the game, your character will start to get hungry, and then you'll start to like really walk really slowly. Then you'll suddenly get even more hungry, then you walk. And then as it goes on, it gets darker and darker. It's like the first point, like you eat some like leftover food and you're happy. Then the second time you do it, you eat like a dead animal, then you're happy. And then it comes to the third one, and you actually eat one of the other gnomes which are running around. I was like, whoa, this is getting dark. Very like, which is quite sinister. You're just gradually getting more and more sort of cannibalistic or evil intentions like that. And then when you finish the actual ending of it, you actually take on the power of the person, like the executive per se, like the person who's circumventing the whole stuff. And like she has this like ability to basically just draw the life force out of people and just basically just make them drop dead. And it was just, I say the best way to describe like the power is almost like a Dementor from Harry Potter in a way. That's probably the best way I can describe it. And you're just walking down this alley, this aisleway, and you've got the people who are eating, and basically they're trying to grab you and eat you. But then you're just using your power, and you're just sucking the life force, and they just die. It's like quite an ending. But then there's at the very end, you're on like an island lighthouse sort of thing, whereas originally you was on a boat. So it's just a bit of an odd ending. I want to see like where it actually goes in Little Nightmares 2. If like I said, if it ever goes on offer, I'll happily pick it up.
I was about to say, yeah, how you say feeling about it, at least you got the next game to find out where it goes. At least it's not like it's left on a cliffhanger and you've got nothing else.
Because on the
PlayStation,
on the PlayStation Store at the moment, the Little Nightmares DLC is on offer. So I think it's like £4 for all the I think it's something like £4 for all the DLC and the game included. So I'm just like that's actually really good offer. I was like half tempted to pick up just to play the DLC. Well, I think it was £4, might be £14. I don't know. But that number sort of rings a bell. But I want to see, like, is the DLC, is it just like a side story or is it a semi-continuation? Because the way it lies out, so like the actual structure of the story is you've got the five rooms are like horizontally taken, and then the DLC is like 3 rooms below. I'm just like, is it, like sometimes in a story you'll have like multiple paths and like certain endings are achieved by the paths intertwining or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a similar sort of thing where it's probably like 3 horror, like parallel stories to it, but eventually leads on to the same path. I don't know. So I'll probably have to look into it and give it a go if I pick it up.
Yeah. Like I don't know. Like I've not really looked into it, but like those type of games is always ones like I always see loads of people talk about them, and I do want to give them a go. It'd just be nice to play more indie games. I feel like I sleep on a lot of indie games, and it'd be nice to experience many more of them. But
have you played Limbo or Inside, either you, Dan, or Chris?
no, I've always wanted to, but no, I haven't.
Yeah, I've finished both of them. I prefer both of them to Little Nightmares myself. I thought the gameplay was just better. I'm not.
Yeah, I think the storytelling was better in those two as well, because Little Nightmares, it didn't really have a sort of overarching story. It's just you're on the ship.
Little Nightmares, the sort of idea is it's basically a metaphor for like rampant consumerism. Like, being corrupted by it. It's pretty on the nose though. But Limbo and Inside, I just think the game's just played like it's just smoother. I didn't get. I just prefer the art style, both of them, to Little Nightmares. Little Nightmares art style was fine, but it didn't really do much for me. But I think that's just a personal thing.
I do like the Tim Burton style art style. That's why I was drawn to Lost in Random, which came out recently. I'm just like the actual art style, that Tim Burton style. I think it's so cool. Yeah. Like it took me a while to warm up to Limbo's art style, but then like Inside's art style, I thought was amazing. Because it just the scene setting and the storytelling, it was just. And the actual scary moments of it, you're just like, fucking hell. Yeah, it was, they were both fantastic games.
Yeah.
But speaking of, sorry, just like the topic, because I've also been watching and replaying this slightly. Have you guys ever played Hello Neighbour?
Oh, no. I know of it. I know quite a bit of it. I've never played it, but it's where the AI, like, every time you get caught, it, like, learns like what you've done the previous run or something like that.
Yeah, so like say for example, if you try to sneak in through the front entrance and you get caught, all of a sudden you find the front entrance is blocked and there's a bear trap in front of it. So you're like, right, okay, maybe I need to sneak through some of the windows. So you probably go to the side, you smash a window, you sneak in, and eventually you get caught. Next thing you know, you not only is the front door barred and bear trapped, now that window is now sealed, got wooden planks across it, and a bear trap in that corridor. So it's just like the AI sort of learns what ways you use to try and sneak into the house. And also there's just the puzzle aspect of Hello Neighbour and the actual story of that as well. I thought the story is very well hidden about this, obviously the adult basically going insane from the loss of his family in a car accident.
Yeah, I've seen very strange things about that story. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's basically, when you've lost something and then the way to cope with loss is want. So you quite often see it where, like if like families of, tragically lost children or whatever, you'll find like they're probably overly drawn to other children. That sort of a loss is want sort of thing. So that's why he's trying to basically, that you lost it as the kid. He's trying to basically capture you because, loss is want and he wants to protect people from loss. But the harder one is it's not really a sequel per se, but it's Hello Neighbour Hide and Seek. That is a very, very that's such a hard game. It's got the same aspect of Hello Neighbour where you've got, it's not the actual adult, but you're playing basically hide and seek with another child, and their role is to try and catch you. But there's like the few areas you've got like the garden. You've got basically then mimicking like a like a New York City style stuff where you're playing like cops and robbers.
Mm.
And it's so hard because not only are you trying to run away from this person, you've also got the puzzle and the collection aspects on it. And it's just so hard. Like, if you don't know where stuff is, you've got no chance. Really, really hard, but it kept me on. I started playing those when it was the first lockdown. And I was playing it for probably a good couple months trying to figure out these puzzles. So, yeah, that's, like, you know, when you mentioned about the topic of indie games, like, it's just games like that where I'm just like, they're just properly just slept under, really.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think they're games that I'll ever dive into, but they seem quite mental and wild games for a whole bunch of reasons, personally. But haven't you been playing or finishing something as well, Chris?
I have. So I mentioned this in the last podcast, but I finally got around to finishing it. But I managed to beat the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Still available on Game Pass, last I checked. Yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed it. It stuck the landing. I'm happy to say. I really wanted to see how it went. Like the main drive for me, like the gameplay was decent. Well, it wasn't stellar, but it was decent. But it was just the writing and the plot. I just wanted to see what happened next. I just had the drive. It was like, no, what's happening? Like, but yeah, the writing just it really feels like a sort of third Guardians of the Galaxy film. The writing's spot on. We've got the characters down to a T, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I'm playing it again on stream currently. Because throughout the game, you get given choices on what to do. So I'm trying to do like the opposite of everything I did before.
Right.
See how much it's difference. For the most part, it's the same for like the conversations. There's like one different line of dialogue, but then it like sort of goes how it was going anyway. But there are a couple of bits that are different. Like there's one bit, for example, earlier on in the game, you have to like sell either Rocket or Groot to like this monster collector. And the second time through, it was massively different. Like, I was doing a completely different level. Like,
Right.
if you sell Groot, you like you leave him with the monster collector, and then you sort of like come back later on and like sneak round all these guards while they're asleep, sort of do a stealthy section. But if you do it with Rocket, he gets pissed off and starts throwing grenades, so it turns into like an action sequence completely. So yeah, that was massively different. I wasn't expecting that. I was just expecting like a few lines of dialogue and then like the same game again. But no, it was really different. So but that's the game's got 16 chapters. I think I'm just up to chapter 6 on my second playthrough. But so far, that's the only massive difference I've had.
Okay.
But it is still very good, and I do highly recommend it. Especially if you can get it for free on Game Pass. You'd be silly not to. Like it's. Oh.
No, finish.
I was gonna say, like, it's not massively long. I think all in all, it takes about 16 hours, I'd say. All in all, about an hour a chapter, give or take, depending if you like going for collectibles, hunting secrets, that kind of thing. But nothing's like really off the beaten path too much. It's mostly linear. But yeah, what were you gonna say?
Well, because I've played the other Guardians of the Galaxy game, the Telltale one. It from what you're kind of saying, it kind of feels like it's kind of maybe similar to a certain degree, maybe like that story-wise, and maybe with some of the choices, kind of. But then, you know, obviously, this new one is far more action-packed than just a point and click.
Oh yeah, just a bit.
Yeah, but
yeah. Well, that's the thing with the Telltale games, though. There's a lot of them where I've like replayed like the Walking Dead games to see what was different, and dialogue-wise, nothing much changes. It all boils down to the same. You'd notice in like every chapter there were like 5 segments that do make a difference. like the overarching story is still the same,
Yeah,
but and it's the same for like every Telltale game that I've
pretty
played.
much. Yeah.
Well, I haven't played the Guardians one, so I can't say about that. But yeah, there's like 5 segments where it's just like A or B. It's like, oh, do you take this person? Do you take that person? And that kind of all it really changes is like the people who are with you. But the
Yeah.
overarching story still remains the same. But you just got different people.
It's
Like you'll meet up with different people, and they'll like argue over different things. But the story beat's like still the same. It's still like ultimately they have an argument, and then something happens. Like,
yeah. Generally the same in like the Guardians of the Galaxy one. I remember when I played the Telltale Guardians, I remember pissing Rocket off like constantly, and I think I was just siding with Gamora for like the whole game, and then I know there was a bit where Drax wanted to sacrifice himself, and then I was like, it was either Drax wanted to sacrifice himself, or there was something with Groot, and I think I went with saving Drax, and like Groot gets like properly burnt, and then Drax is, and then Rocket's like annoyed at you, and then Drax is like annoyed at you because he can like sacrifice himself, but it was like I just saved Drax's life, so. But no, like overall, like the story doesn't change. And I remember by the end of that game, like everyone was like fine with each other, so it didn't really matter too much. But like, as much as like the Telltale games are what they are, like the story of that Guardians one did actually go quite a bit into like Rocket's backstory. Like they went to the lab where he gets experimented on, which I thought was quite interesting.
Okay.
I don't know if there's anything similar like that in the Square Enix, or it's just
there's not an awful lot of backstory. There's some flashback sequences with like Star-Lord, like the days like
yeah,
Mother like went.
yeah.
But for the most part, it's in the here and now. So, and I was just like enthralled the entire time. I just wanted to see where it was going.
Does it have
the dynamic? Sorry.
Does it have like? Obviously, you've got the 5 main characters, but did it have any of the other Guardian characters, or just any other Marvel characters in general?
Yeah. So off the top of my head, it's got Mantis in it.
I thought so.
Yeah, it's got the only 2 I'll mention because I don't want to spoil it too much.
Yeah, I thought that.
It's got Cosmo the Space Dog.
Oh yes.
And it's got Adam Warlock in it as well.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Ooh.
really.
I do like Adam Warlock.
There are a few others, but I won't say much more.
Yeah, I can imagine. But that's interesting. Got Adam Warlock. Oh, because he's rumored to be in the next Guardians film.
They did have the post credits bit in there with him.
Yeah. They've confirmed who's playing him in the next Guardians film as well.
I haven't seen.
I think it's Will Poulter. Believe that's his name.
I'm not familiar with the actor off the top of my head. Maybe I am.
You've probably seen him in something, but yes, he's playing Adam Warlock. Which initially I was a bit like, but I think the more I think about it, the more I've come around on it. So.
Yeah. Well, I was happy for his inclusion because I recognise the name, but I know nothing about the character. So I think I've got like a bit of backstory on the character.
Oh, because I've got the Infinity Gauntlet. He's heavily in that graphic novel. Because he in the Infinity Gauntlet at the end he has the Infinity Gauntlet with all the Infinity Gems at the end of that graphic novel, and that leads into the Infinity War and the Infinity Watch graphic novels. Because of Adam Warlock. So.
Right. Okay. I'll tell you what. While we're discussing Marvel,
characters
I know bugger all about. I've watched the new Moon Knight show. Like at the time of writing, there's only one episode out.
Yes.
I very much enjoyed it. I think what Marvel's done is because they realise this is a character that not many people are familiar with. They've tried to like put a lot of action and like funny dialogue in it to try and catch people. Like say, oh, let's make him like very interesting, like straight away. If this keeps up, it'll be a fantastic series. But there's a lot going on in the first episode.
Yeah.
It all seems really well done though, from what I've seen. I want to see where it goes.
Yes. I've had a massive chat with one of my friends who Moon Knight is his favourite Marvel character, so we've had a lengthy discussion. Him, one of my other mates and myself, the three of us. I did actually really enjoy it, but I had my criticisms over some aspects, like the CGI was kind of bad.
Well, to be honest, I sort of brush off CGI now. I've seen so much bad CGI, so much like decent stuff. I don't know. I just don't let it bother me.
Yeah,
I know. I'm pretty sure that that ancient Egyptian like death doggy thing is not real. I'm pretty sure that's not real.
Not that. Some of the other bits, like I think the most glaring is the car chase. Some of the CGI there was quite bad. For Marvel's standard, it was quite bad actually.
I don't remember it standing out that much.
Oh, even watching it, I didn't think it was bad, but even watching it, I was like, oh. But then it was quite glaring, and then when someone said, oh, it was kind of bad, I was like, actually, I kind of agree. But that's not really the point of Moon Knight, is the CGI. The first episode was I did really enjoy it. Obviously, if you don't know anything about Moon Knight, like if you're Brandon, Moon Knight has multiple personalities. So, there's in the first episode you only see two of them, but there's a third one is been hinted at in the first episode. So he starts off. There's Steve and Mark. Mark is the one that controls Moon Knight, and then Steve is like is like a personality who's British and is meant to be the stupid one. And there's a lot of, I guess, kind of, I don't want to say fish out of water, but it a little bit where he's like not sure what the hell's going on and all that. And there's some really fun moments.
He's kind of the vessel for the audience.
Yes.
Tag along. Yeah.
Cause like there's a moment where he like throws a gun, and then the Moon Knight god, I don't know his name. He's like, did he just throw the gun? Did he really just do that? That was fun.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of playing into like how much of it is real, like how much is in his head.
Yeah.
What happening's actually happening, and it's like, where do you draw the line? I think they're going to emphasize that a bit more as it goes on.
But
did you see it at all, Brendan?
No.
No.
It's me we're talking about.
Fair enough. We'll leave it at that, shall we?
To be fair, I think you could go into Moon Knight completely blind, Brandon. I don't think you need to watch any of the MCU. I think you could literally go fully blind, literally.
Yeah, I pretty much did. Like I had no like expectations. I don't think it mentioned any other Marvel.
And
I don't recall it mentioning anything.
That's what I'm kind of going on. Like, there is no mention of anything Marvel. I don't think
like something like Hawkeye. There's stuff like it's like Avengers the musical, like billboards and that kind of thing. But there's like nothing that I spotted. Like nothing on like the side of buses. Like I thought they might advertise that same show or something. Like,
no,
but I didn't spot it at least.
No. There was literally no mention to, I guess, any of the MCU in that first episode. Who knows, maybe later down the line there may be, but that first episode, if you didn't know Moon Knight was a Marvel character and that the series was set in the MCU, you probably wouldn't have known.
No one mentions like the Thanos snap or anything. So
No.
that seems to be the thing like everyone's mentioned.
In
Post
Phase
that.
4, yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, we live in a world where post Thanos now.
Post the blip.
Yeah.
No. No, I'm looking forward to what Moon Knight holds. Personally.
I'm guessing he's not going to hold the Infinity Gauntlet.
No, but who knows? He'll definitely hold some enemies in his grasp and fight him.
Or maybe he'll hold a copy of whatever other games we've been playing. Are you sure you've not played anything apart from Elden Ring? Because this festival doesn't quite work otherwise.
I was going to go into something else, but you kind of derailed me there. But no, like game-wise, it's literally just been the usual things: Bloons, RuneScape, and Vampire Survivors, as well as Elden Ring. There's literally nothing else to say on what I've been playing except those 4.
Well, I'm sorry, listeners, but for the next 40 or so episodes, we're just going to talk about Bloons Tower Defense again.
No, I did play a bit of Dark Souls as well, but that's just the same old thing. I've not spoke about that before, so yeah. But on terms of watching stuff, something finished last night, and that was Peaky Blinders season 6. So I've been, of course, watching that. I thought I'd wait until it finished before I said anything. So of the time of recording, that finished last night, and I guess with Peak, I don't know if either of you have watched Peaky Blinders.
It's me we're talking about. Of course not.
It's like, is it anime? No, I've not watched it.
Well, I watched the first 2 series, and then I watched the first episode of season 3, and I was like massively disinterested by it. Well, they killed Sam Neill. How dare you kill Sam Neill?
To be honest,
I was sort of, my interest was sort of waning as it went on anyway, and then they killed him off, and it was like, wow, that was my favourite character because it's Sam Neill. Now I'm like, I've no interest in. Plus, I was like listening to what the general consensus was at the time, saying like, oh, the leading actress like can't act. It's like, yeah, she is a bit wooden, isn't she?
And then she gets killed in the 3rd season.
Does she? Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know.
literally like episode 1 or 2, she gets killed at the end.
It must be 2, or maybe I just can't remember because I was that bored. I'll tell you what put me off at Peaky Blinders, right? And it might sound a bit weird, but because I like work with the public a lot and like a lot of students, and Peaky Blinders, like when it was first going to come out, was like absolutely massive, and loads of people all started wearing flat caps and pretending they're hard like gangsters. I just rolled my eyes every time. It's like, you fucking dickhead. You look like a absolute twat. It's like, you're not hard. You just put a flat cap on. Oh dear. So it was, for lack of a better word, cringe.
Well,
because I was doing like pub thing, like pub work at the time. You get no end of kids like dressing up or trying to be like them, which is basically an excuse for being a prick, causing trouble. So they think they can get away with it because they're like trying to pretend to be someone, but we just give them a hiding. Anyway, with the actual show, though.
Yes. So, as I said, at the time of recording, season 6 finished last night, and for the most part, I've actually, with Peaky Blinders, I really liked the first 2 seasons. Season 3, I'm very mixed on. I thought season 4 was a bit more return to form. Season 5, I think, for the most part, I did enjoy it, but I think it was weaker than. I think it was better than season 3, but it was definitely one of the weaker seasons. But this latest season, I think I think it has been a strong season compared to 3 and 5. Like, I don't know what the general consensus is on which are the really good seasons or not. It's just my experience. But I have enjoyed season 6. I've been interested in where it's been going, and there's been some interesting twists and turns, let's say. Even in the final season, it introduced some new characters, and it's been a really fun ride from season 1 to season 6. It's been confirmed that they're doing a spin-off film, so there's still more to come, but I wasn't even knowing that. I got to the end of the episode, I was a bit a bit unsure how they were gonna leave it. And in some ways, I'm still in two minds over its ending. It wasn't because of they have obviously left it open for the film, but at the moment we have known nothing about the film, so it's still. I guess it still feels a bit incomplete because there's the film that's coming. So I did really enjoy season 6, but the story's still not complete because the ending is kind of still quite open to a certain degree, which is a bit annoying that it was the final season and I still got I wouldn't say many questions, but there still feels like there's things to be done for some of those characters. So it's a little bit... But overall, season 6 was really good. The penultimate episode was fantastic. That probably was my favourite episode. Even if it did have a scene I had to turn away from the TV, or, my computer screen, because it was that jarring. I do not want that scene to ever happen to me in real life. That's all I'll say. So,
made me interested to see if I know what it is.
Was it a scene where they uninstalled Bloons Tower Defense?
No, it was a torture scene. That's all I'll say. But the body part they were torturing. Oof.
Not the pinky toe.
No, it was not the pinky toe, Brandon.
Not the hair.
Not the earlobes. No.
You know what would probably be the worst one to torture? Your funny bone. How bad's that? When you catch it, it's bad enough. Imagine having it tortured. Actually, no, it's not.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So you recommend that?
I do, but I can understand why you fell off it, Chris, as well. I think if you're a fan of Peaky Blinders, you're gonna find some enjoyment out of the final season. But if you've fallen off, I would say you're not missing anything. But you know, it's what it is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But I guess. Well, Brandon and I did see something in the cinema.
We watched an anime.
We did.
An anime?
Yes, we did. We went out after recording the last episode.
Talking about anime on this podcast, that's never happened.
No.
Although, in our defense, I think the last time we spoke something like this was when Mugen Train came out.
Choo.
So we went to see Jujutsu Kaisen 0.
Yes.
And honestly, I wasn't overly impressed with it. I mean, it was an okay watch, but it didn't really feel like a cinema experience. It didn't feel like emotionally and physically involved with it as compared to things like Mugen Train, where you felt very invested into it.
I saw Belle earlier this year as well. I preferred watching that in the cinema over Jujutsu Kaisen. I thought Bell looked better. I thought Bell looked like it had anime movie qualities than Jujutsu Kaisen Zero did. I think both Brandon and I probably agree on this, that Jujutsu Kaisen Zero felt like a really long extended OVA put onto the big screen. Like,
yeah,
I enjoyed it. Like, a lot of the action was great, but it didn't look like movie level. It did, but it also didn't as well. It didn't look any different to its TV counterpart. So
yeah,
but I did enjoy it. I think I probably would rewatch it, maybe, but I think I maybe not either as well. I don't know.
I don't think I'd rewatch it because it literally felt like
maybe I'll rewatch some of the fights. I think I'd do that.
It's just I felt a bit underwhelmed. Like with the villain itself, didn't really feel like a villain. He just felt just like a stroppy toddler.
Yeah.
And then the actual like climatic fight scene, it wasn't much of a climax, was it? It was just like, oh, he's beat up now. But the actual best fight scene was between the guy who everyone simps for, the sensei.
Gojo sensei.
Yeah, Gojo. Like the actual fight of Gojo just randomly against one of the random enemies. That was the best fight scene in the whole thing, and it wasn't even the main fight.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean the actual main character's, curse. I think that looks really, really cool. I think the whole concept of that curse is really, really cool.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like they sort of pushed the boundaries in terms of anything really. Like sound was like there wasn't really any sort of spectacular music or soundtrack to it. There wasn't exactly any spectacular animation, like fancy animation with it. I mean, I'm probably not giving it justice by continuously comparing it to Mugen Train and Ufotable, but they really freaking pushed their budget to the absolute limit.
I think
with all the special effects,
with UFO Table and Mugen Train, they just did the next arc as a film.
Yeah,
with a lot of anime films that are related to shonen, like the Naruto films, the Bleach films, and not the recent ones, but the majority, which is saying 90% of what must be 20, 30 Dragon Ball films are all non-canon. There's just Mugen Train was canon, and I think it's why I quite like the latest Dragon Ball films. They are canon. So I really like the last two Naruto films. They're canon. Everything else, I've seen it. Whatever. I guess I enjoyed it, but it is also what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pleasant night out, evening out, just to go to cinema and watch anime.
Jujutsu Kaisen Zero is canon, but it didn't feel like it was either, because it was a prequel. It had some of the main characters, but not the core main characters. To be fair, the main character of Jujutsu Kaisen, he wouldn't be in it anyway. But to a certain degree, it felt like it was a prelude to season 2. So
yeah,
but who knows?
And sorry to completely shit on it, but there was one scene in particular. It was just so pointless, and it was the freaking panda being a pervert. Usually, I'm such a fan of ecchi. I'm such a fan of all that, but when it's just literally pointless, I'm just like, did they really need to just add that? Like, yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm a huge fan of ecchi stuff. When it's just completely pointless and irrelevant, I'm just like, yeah, just get rid of it. It's not needed.
Like, the more I think about Jujutsu Kaisen, like, I do actually really rate it. I think I don't think the season 1 is perfect. I have my gripes. I think the middle section I find a bit frustrating. But for the most part, I think season 1 of Jujutsu Kaisen is pretty damn good. So I'm looking forward to season 2, and I'm also a little bit disappointed with Zero, but I did enjoy Zero as well. But
yeah, still a 7 out of 10, I'd say.
Yeah. So I guess that's all we've got on that. But
I did watch one other film, very very quickly. So I haven't really got a lot to say about this, so I'll just crowbar it in here. Have you guys seen the Adam Project on Netflix?
No.
Wait.
No.
Is this the time traveling one?
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, I've seen a trailer for it, and then I've seen the clip where the kid from it does the whole Deadpool monologue from the first film.
Yeah, and it is a whole superhero landing, and I rolled my eyes so hard. So yeah, my thoughts on it. It's just there. I have a similar feeling with a lot of the Netflix films. They just sort of come out with little to no fanfare, and then I watch them, and I find them very forgettable. I'm pretty sure if I don't talk about this now, in a month's time, I'll completely forgot that I watched it. So I'll just put myself on record. This is the message to future Chris. You did watch this film. So yeah, it was fine. Things happened in the film, but nothing was really bad, but nothing was good enough to stand out either. So I wouldn't say it was boring, because fair enough. There's a fair bit of action on it, and things do happen. It's not totally boring, but it's just there. It's like the film equivalent to mayonnaise. It's like the blandest thing you can put in a sandwich. If you just had a
mayonnaise is brilliant. Leave
I
mayonnaise
was
out.
about to say, did you really just say that to Brandon?
Is that a hot? Oh, get the fuck out of here!
I had no idea you had such strong feelings about mayonnaise.
Oh my gosh!
All right,
Best
let me phrase it another way.
The thing is, I know how much you like mayonnaise, Brandon, and he said it. I was like, oh no, what has he just said?
Well, let me phrase it another way then. If the Adam Project was a spice, it would be mayonnaise.
What, really, really good? And good wouldn't matter what you're eating.
Spicy mayonnaise.
Yeah.
You can get the fuck out of here as well. Come on, spicy mayonnaise is so good.
Yes, but without this.
Can we just compare
mind.
it to Lidl baked beans tomato sauce then?
No, because I've not tried that, and I don't think many people have tried it.
Exactly. It's just watered down ketchup, basically.
Yeah, but that sounds bad rather than just being.
But mayonnaise is not bland.
Okay, it's the cinematic equivalent of Eamon Holmes. It's just there. It's just
okay. I can get back to you on that one.
You could have the entire timeline that we currently have. Take Eamon Holmes out of it, and absolutely nothing would change. that is the cinematic equivalent of the Adam Project, which is weird because it's all about time travel. But yeah, that's genuinely how I feel about it. It's I watched it and I can't even think. I only watched it a couple of weeks ago, and I can't even think of any lines in it apart from the Deadpool stuff, which made me roll my eyes. But apparently, Ryan Reynolds wrote some of it, and yeah, I think that's blatantly obvious. But yeah, it was there, and it exists. Watch it if you want. if you got an afternoon to kill, you need something on the background. Then put the Adam project on. Otherwise, that's as high as praise I can give it.
Yeah, you call it mayonnaise.
Well, I'm sorry. I didn't know you felt so strongly about mayonnaise.
I'm heartbroken. I might need to reconsider this podcast. Fucking hell!
I didn't say I hate mayonnaise.
I
You called
swear,
it bland.
I swear
Yeah.
you mentioned like mayonnaise. How you don't have butter and you have mayonnaise.
Yeah, I
On
don't
the
use butter on my
podcast.
bread. I use mayonnaise instead.
I swear you said that on the podcast. I know that.
I think I did.
I know that because you told me, but I swear you said that on the podcast as well.
Hold on. Does this mean you put mayonnaise on like scones and toasted tea cakes as well?
I don't really eat scones and
That's-
twisted tea cakes.
I,
No, sorry. If I have scones, I put jam on it.
Fair enough. Because that would just be a bit too weird.
Although, when I was hungover yesterday, I did have some butter on toast, and I felt relinquished.
Can't be.
I felt so happy.
I went to me and my mate. We were he was very fragile, and I'll just say that. And we were like, shall we go get some food? So I was like, I'll drive us to Co-op because you're not in any state to drive right now. So I had to drive I drove really slowly and put like really calm music on. And every time I went over the bump, I was like so slow. I felt I had a learner badge just because he was so yeah. He was recovering. Yes.
I was saying, what do you expect from half a bottle of Kraken?
He had fun. I forget that the first bit I obviously recorded and then deleted, so I didn't even. That's not actually in the podcast now. But after when everyone had left, we were like, I went to him night, and then went into my room. He was in the spare bedroom, and then you just heard him being sick in the toilet. A few, maybe one too many times. And then when I was really drunk and I was just messaging my friend who had COVID, just being like, I wish you were here. I wish you would come tonight. You're one of my best friends.
Like Chris, you were messaging. Like Chris.
No, it wasn't Chris. But Chris is one of my best friends. But it wasn't Chris. It was someone else. I knew, like, from like last week, I knew like 3 or 4 people who all had COVID. Obviously I had you, Chris, and then I invited 2 people to my party who had COVID, and then one of them, someone else, their boyfriend had COVID. So it was just like, because of COVID, I had like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 people drop out because of it. Maybe 7's a bit much. Maybe like 6. But it was like, because of COVID, I had like 6 people just go, no.
Yeah, it's because at the moment, at the time of recording, I think there's nearly 5 million active cases of COVID in the UK. So like almost like 1 in 14 people have COVID at the moment.
Like I said to
which is the most it's ever been.
Like I said to everyone who came, like, to do a test. I was doing a test every day last week, but I told people to do tests before coming.
Yep, negative and still negative here.
But
Yeah.
we are.
I couldn't get it the first time around. I had to get it when it wasn't fashionable anymore. It's like it's COVID. It's so 2020.
Yeah, I was say you're like that kid who got like an Xbox when the Xbox 360s came out.
Yeah. Exactly.
What, Internet Explorer?
Mate, it's all about Edge.
Hey guys, on about Internet Explorer, it told me the other day that we're going to raid Area 51 soon.
Oh, really?
What?
Really?
You telling me we can do the Naruto run soon?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I mean,
I'll tell you when the date is, but the page is still loading and has been for the last 4 months. But...
Well, we are a video game podcast, so wasn't there something else you did play, Chris, called Ghostrunners? Is that a game or is that a TV show?
Ghostrunner, yeah. So basically, Ghostrunner, it came on the PlayStation Plus last month. So I thought, hey, free game, I'll give it a go.
I know
but I'll be
nothing
honest
of
with you.
this.
I'll be honest with you. I didn't get very far in it. It wasn't my kind of game.
What is it?
So what it is, it's a first-person like fast-running platformer. Think Mirror's Edge,
Okay.
that kind of thing. But the twist is like you die in one hit, which I found infuriating. So I didn't get very far in it.
Oh right.
So you're prompted to like do like short platforming sequences, like run across the side of the walls, just like do long jumps, do like a grind and slide here and there, and then like do like very quick combat things. So you kill enemies in like one hit with like your sword. Because you're playing as sort of like a cyber shinobi type deal.
Yeah, I can see him.
Yeah. Which you think would be able to take more than one hit. I'm being a shinobi. It just sounds a bit crap. But yeah, I didn't play it for very long. I literally played it for like 20 minutes and put it down after I got killed for like the 5th time in a row in like the same section. It's like, yeah, this ain't for me. So I can see it being somebody's jam though, because it looks very pretty. Graphics are really nice. So if you like the sort of fast-paced cyberpunk sort of aesthetic, and you're a fan of like Mirror's Edge, those types of games, then yeah, I'm pretty sure it'll be your jam. But it's not for me. But I can't say it's a terrible game. It just really wasn't in my ballpark. Right? But, yeah, so it was free. I don't know how much it retails for now. So I'm sorry to say, future me should have spoken about this game, but I didn't download it. So it's more relevant. But if you want it now, you got to pay for it. But yeah, I haven't got much more to say about it. It's just, I just wanted to quickly insert it here. But, yeah, check it out if you want. But there are other things you can do with your time, like eat mayonnaise.
Definitely recommend that.
Well, is there anything else either of you wanted to mention? Because I know there is something we do want to discuss.
Yes,
But
so I don't think I've got anything else for discussion.
Because there is a topic.
At one point,
there is a topic we do want to discuss, but there's nothing else. I guess we can go straight into it.
Yeah, go on then.
So was it last week it was revealed? Obviously, this is going to date this. It's like 3 weeks. PlayStation Plus revealed their new subscription service, which is to rival Game Pass.
yeah. It's just, what is it? Just basically a merge with PS Now.
Yeah, kind of. It is, but like also improving on kind of both subscriptions. I think is that correct?
I don't know, because when I'm reading it, it says like obviously the normal PS Plus is going to be the same. Then they've got the one above it. Hold on a minute. Let me just actually open up the PlayStation thing for it.
I think it's more like they're getting rid of PS Now, and then that PS Now is just going to be a part of PS Plus. But what PS Now does is like a higher tier, and you have to pay more. You have to pay for the higher tier to get the benefits of PS Now, but it's like part of PS Plus, not just its own separate thing.
So at the moment we've got normal PlayStation Plus, which is now going to be dubbed as PlayStation Plus Essential, which is going to be the exact same stuff as PlayStation Plus with no changes to PS Plus, and the price is going to remain the same. You then got PlayStation Plus Extra, which has all the same as PlayStation Plus. It comes with a catalogue of 400 PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games and blockbusters from the PlayStation Studio catalogue and third-party partners. And they are pricing that at £84 per year. So that is what, £34 for an extra £34 per year, which is just shy of what the normal PlayStation Now was. But how big is the PlayStation Now catalog? Was that 800 supposedly?
I don't know. I've never used PlayStation Now, so I don't know.
I don't think it's that big. I don't think it's anywhere near as big as Game Pass is.
No.
And then we've got the higher tier one, which is the then it's the PlayStation Plus Premium, which gives you the catalog of 700 games, and it will give you access to the retro games on the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PSP. You will get cloud streaming from those games as well, and you'll also get time-limited time trials, so you can play games before you buy them. And they are pricing that at £100 a year.
Yes, because with the... Yeah, you can obviously still do price per month, but you can also do price per year. Obviously, if year's cheaper than per month, but yeah, you want to pay for it all there and then, or bit by bit.
Yeah. So if you were to go for the monthly subscriptions, you're looking at £7 a month for normal. You're looking at £11 a month for the extra, and then £13.50 for the premium.
Mm-hmm. See, for me, this is extremely interesting.
I think so. Same.
I have PlayStation Plus, right, which costs me £50 for the year, which I think is a fairly good deal. Like, because of discounts you get in the like free games a month, that's pretty good. But I also have Game Pass, which costs me £12 a month. So that's £144 per year. So in total, that's £194. So if I was to get like the deluxe PlayStation, like this new service, this would cost me £100.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still cheaper than Game Pass.
Yes.
Yeah. So if I could like potentially knock Game Pass on the head and just have it all rolled into one, then I will. if it saves me like pretty much £100 for like what is essentially the same. And what I also find interesting is like they said they're like adding PSP titles and PS Vita titles. Well, I never had a PS Vita. I had a PSP, but I didn't have all the games on it. But there are a load of games that I've not had, and I think a lot of other people have never played, especially for the Vita. I know that kind of.
Have they said they're putting Vita on?
Yeah, but I'd say they're adding that to this service.
I'm
looking on PlayStation blog. It just says PS2 and PSP generations to download and play along with time stuff. I didn't see anything about Vita.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do add it.
Okay.
Well,
but I mean, I say the one biggest. Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is going to be. I think it all depends on what catalog of games they're going to give us.
From looking at this article, it says PS Vita, the only console snubbed in Sony's new PS Plus.
Oh, has it actually gone out of the way? I'm looking at different articles here.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I've got as much as IGN, IGN. They've done a really good comparison of all three online, like the main three, like PlayStation, Xbox Game Pass, and Nintendo Switch Online. They've done a really good comparison of all three, and on here, and I found an article. It doesn't have Vita on there, so that's a shame because the Vita has a lot of really good games. I do have a Vita, but my Vita's really old, and the memory cards have absolutely messed up, which I'm really annoyed because now I was really far into Final Fantasy X HD and Persona 4 Golden, but I've completed both of them on that memory card, but it was just I was on like the second playthrough on Persona 4 Golden, and I was really far through, and I can't complete it, and that's just what it is. Well, I can because I've got it on PC, but I have to go through like over 100 hours to get to where I was again, and I'm not prepared for that playthrough just yet. But then Persona 4 Golden is amazing. That better not have been a fart. I
No,
heard
it was
that.
me leaning back on the old sofa.
I heard
Because-
I had literally heard that, and it just sounded like a fart.
Nah, because slightly off topic to the podcast, but I've got tomorrow off work, so we've actually got our new sofas turning up. So we're still making do with this little leather sofa. It's like, if I do it again, ready? You can hear it, can't you?
Only just that time.
Yeah, it is.
You just farted again.
Oh, Brandon.
Yeah,
So-
so yeah, can't wait to get the new sofa. But yeah, as we were saying about the new PlayStation Plus stuff, I think the biggest selling point for me is going to be all like, if they obviously they've announced some of the games coming for it, so they've got Death Stranding, God of War, Marvel games, Mortal Kombat, Returnal, which are on there. I mean, just Return. If you just look at Returnal as itself, the game itself is £50. That's basically paying for the subscription for the year.
You said you didn't
So
like it.
Yeah. I mean, I
but that's
liked
an
the actual
example.
gameplay of Returnal. Like, the gameplay of itself is fantastic. I just wasn't keen on the ending and the actual story of Returnal. So I mean,
Oh, yeah.
because it was very, very short and abrupt. There's only like 4 or 5 areas in the game. I feel like they could have easily added like several areas to actually expand on the game. I like the concept of every time you die, the world changes. Like, that's really cool, and all the weapons on it, the weapon leveling system, the actual RNG aspect of it. You know, like the roguelike aspect of it. It's really, really cool. I just didn't like the actual story of it.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I mean, yeah.
Well, you bring up the interesting point. Like, if they're going to add like PS5 games to this service, and you think like a brand new PS5 game is in the ballpark of £70.
Yeah.
So you think, oh well, £100, I can have this service for a year and download the same games potentially. And
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
so
it's
it
a no-brainer,
it really is looking like a good. I mean, I'm happily going to take one for the team and get the big one, just so I can actually have content to take.
see-
To say.
So for me, like I probably would not bother buying any first-party PlayStation titles now because they're pretty much going to be on this service, aren't they?
You can always look at it like that way. Yeah. I mean, I don't know how long. Like, will they be permanently on this subscription thing, or will there be
I
time
wouldn't
trial
ima-
things where they're
I
like,
wouldn't
okay, we'll
imagine
release it for
their
2 weeks?
I wouldn't imagine their first-party stuff would. Stuff like God of War, or something like that. I imagine they'll be like staples. They'll forever be there. 'Cause-
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Returnal's going to be on there forever. God of War's going to be on there forever. Mortal Kombat 11 will be on there forever.
Yeah, I imagine like Demon Souls might be on there as well.
Yeah, so, and look at that. That's £50 as well.
Yeah,
Still.
yeah. Well, I say something like Horizon, the new one, that's £70. It's like, well,
Yeah, the actual subscription itself pays for the one game. And it's like, okay, realistically, of a lot of games recently, how many games do you actually replay?
well, this is it. Like the games I'm only replaying now are like the ones I enjoyed the first time round, so I decide to stream them. So that's done my second time playing.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think in total, like, I think I've replayed less than 20 games ever. Like, sometimes I'll play a game and that's it. It's done. So, like, if I look at, recently Returnal, I completed it. Will I play it again? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Things like Subnautica, I'll happily replay Subnautica. But so like a lot of these games which might come out on the PS5, PlayStation Plus, Premium. Even if I just get the subscription for a year, I could possibly play 2 dozen games through to completion. Doesn't matter about that, because if it's not something I'm not going to replay, if it's something I want to replay, I'll probably invest in it and buy the actual physical copy of it. Or I could just keep the rolling contract on this. It's still going to work out cheaper.
Like with not just like Game Pass, PS Plus, Nintendo Switch Online. It's even the same with like Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Music, even like Netflix. With all these services where you're streaming stuff, you don't own it.
No.
And there is as much as these services are great, there's also something to be said like you don't own it. Like,
Yeah.
if you like a game, you will go out and buy it.
Yes.
But I think what's really good about these services, for like everything, like it doesn't matter. Us we're talking about gaming ones, but be music, like Netflix or whatever. Like you get to experience things that I guess sometimes you wouldn't normally experience. Like, you know, you might play a game that you would never choose to buy it, and then you might like give it a go, and you might actually be like, you know what, this is like fantastic. I'm actually going to buy it. And I think that I hope that with like the new PlayStation Plus, it gets a lot of people playing games, a lot of like PlayStation games that people have missed or skipped over, which I think a lot of people seem to do with Game Pass, I believe. From what I hear from like the gaming podcasts I listen to, it sounds like it. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I say that. I think so because my friends, they were talking about like a dragon game on Game Pass, and it instantly made me go, damn, I want Game Pass just to play this dragon game with my friends. Because one, they're talking about dragons, and I'm already interested. But two, it just sounds kind of cool. So like, I hope like that kind of aspect of Game Pass is true in the new version of PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a godsend for like shorter games.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to pay like 30 quid for a game that you know is only going to last you like a couple of hours. Right.
That's my point about like the Little Nightmares 2. It's just like it's going to be a quick game to play, but I don't want to pay like a full whack retail price for it if it's not going to take me. Like it's almost just like, especially like, sorry to go back on the topic of Elden Ring, but you're getting a lot of time and effort for a single playthrough for your money.
Yeah.
And I'm really liking these games which take ages.
And I still can't believe it was £45, like brand new for like the collectors.
Yeah.
I was fully expecting it to be 70 quid.
Like,
but I was saying, like, imagine if like you went to play Little Nightmares and you didn't know how long it was, and you played full whack for it because you like the look
That's
of
the
it.
thing. Little Nightmares, I didn't know how long it was. I didn't know how long original Little Nightmares was, and I completed it in like under 10 hours. I'm just like, okay,
10 hours? Jeez.
Yeah, under 10. That's also including pee breaks, dinner breaks.
I was going to say it takes like 2 hours.
Yeah,
it's really short.
do you know the game Biomutant, for example?
When I heard that come out, I really wanted it, but I haven't really heard anything about it since.
It got really poor reviews.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people will pay like 60 quid or whatever for that game, and as Chris said, it's not done very well. So a waste of money. But like with I guess PS Plus, if that was on there, that you could try it out and be like, well, this is whack. I'm not going to pay full price for this, and like hopefully that will help people experience more games and maybe be a bit more, I don't want to say dangerous, but like be a bit more
open-minded.
Yeah. I like to play,
because I've definitely picked up games that I probably would not have looked at, like, because normally when you're going for the library, you're just looking at just the box art and just like go on that. So you can find yourself just like flipping through like you would like an album.
Like me with buying like Vampire Survivors, it's only because one, it's like £2, and two, I listened to a podcast and they spoke about it now 3 weeks in a row, and every time they're all like so excited to talk about it, and I've put like over 10 hours in. I can see why it's such a fun game to like waste. I've wasted like, I don't want to say wasted, but I spent like 2 or 3 nights just playing that, listening to music, because it's just so fun. And I never that's a game that looks wise, I think a lot of maybe young gamers would be like, nah, I ain't gonna play this. I ain't gonna, like, why would I buy or play this? It just looks whack. But like someone like a lot more older gamers, like it's so fun, it's so good. Like, they've just recently done an update and added way more new things. As when I first mentioned about it, I said it was in early access. So like they've added like another character, added new maps, new items, and it's like, well, now I can unlock more stuff. I can try new builds, and it's like I'm still enjoying it as if I'm doing like my first playthrough, because there's like so many things, and I hope there's like games that people get to try that give them that experience. Obviously not maybe Vampire Survivors, maybe something else, I don't know, maybe something from the past, maybe it's another indie game. I just hope that what Game Pass is doing can be a lot of like that can be kind of there for PlayStation, because I think it's the gap that PlayStation have been trying to sort.
I'll tell you what is interesting. I've noted. You know, a while back they were on about like hypothetically like having like the Crunchyroll thrown in for like PlayStation.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, sort of catch up. There's no mention of that.
I didn't.
Didn't think about that.
No, I was just thinking about it. I remember like we've mentioned it on here a couple of times.
I was going to say if I could get, I was going to say hypothetically, if the PlayStation Plus like premium had Crunchyroll included on it, they'd just take my money. Like hands down, if Crunchyroll was included on that, because Crunchyroll for me is like 40, 50 quid a year, maybe 60 quid a year, something like that. I was like, if I can have that PS Plus and the PS Now collection on there for £100 a month, just fucking take my wallet.
I'm just surprised there's like no mention of it whatsoever. So, I think it's come down to probably like copyright issues,
Probably.
like streaming rights, probably. That would have been cool. So, yes.
But I think we can all just agree that it's a big step in the right direction for Sony doing this. Massive step in the right direction.
I'm definitely going to consider it at least. Well, thankfully,
my
PlayStation doesn't run out until January, and this service is launching in June, so relatively soon. Really.
Mine's
say
about
a couple of months away.
I don't know when mine is, but do we? Let's just say, for example, I need to renew mine in, let's just say, November, for example.
Yeah.
Would I have to pay for the 5 months of it before it matches my PlayStation Plus, or would it have to be a whole new subscription for it? I can't see any information on it.
So unless you change it prior, when it comes to your renewal date, it would just go straight onto on the essential package, which we're all on right now, because that's effectively what it will be. So you would need to go on when it's a thing, like choose subscription or what tier, and do what tier you want to do. So extra or premium.
Yeah, because the way I'm seeing this, like Game Pass is killing it.
Yeah.
Because it's got all these titles, but if you actually boiled it down to like Xbox exclusives, there aren't many. Like, unless you're like really into like Halo or like Forza. But PlayStation's got tons of killer exclusives. So if they're gonna have those and all the third-party ones which are on Game Pass, there's no competition really. This could potentially be absolutely fantastic. So take notes, Nintendo. This is how you do my service. Right, this is how you do it. Don't charge people like 30 quid to like play fucking Balloon Fight or like less superior ROMs.
Yeah, like this is the quantity of games we want for that extra subscription. Not just 16. We want like 600 plus.
I seen like the newest Jim Sterling today. She was saying like, oh, don't worry, you can get fucking Mappy Land now on Nintendo Switch. What do you fucking do?
I think I saw a news article about, it must be that I've not checked, but it was like Nintendo Switch Online adds new NES or SNES game, but they're not very good.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. It's like, yeah, but people have been able to emulate for these years. Like, if Nintendo just didn't do a really shit job of gatekeeping all the old titles instead of just re-releasing the same ones over and over again, and then every time they do that, just mark it up at full price again. It's bullshit. But again, like Sony's gonna like sidestep this to a degree by just offering like the PSP and PS2 games. Didn't say anything about PS1.
No, the PS1 the games are going to be on there.
Yeah, I imagine the article I read didn't say anything about PS1, but I'll just take it as read they'll be on.
Right, do you want me to give you a flavour of some of the games you might be able to expect?
Go on then.
You might be able to expect Final Fantasy 7, 8,
Yeah.
9.
Yeah. Again, though, these are all exclusives to PlayStation at the time that released. So.
Yeah, but these are also ones which are on the PS Now library, so I'm guessing we could be expecting all the ones which are on the current PS Now, just to give you a flavour of what's to come.
Oh,
then
yeah.
also they're going to be bringing
imagine they'll cut
on
anything.
there.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'll just transfer it over.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like I think when I first bought PlayStation Now, so I bought it when we first went into the lockdown. So I was like, right, okay, I'm going to be staying at home for God knows how long. Let's, get the PS Now and let's just have a smash through it. And the one which surprised me the most was just Sonic Adventure, because that was on there. So I was literally just playing Sonic Adventure 2. And I was just like, I'm just having the best time of my life just playing Sonic Adventure 2. Then also there was the GTA series on there. There was loads of the Dynasty Warriors games are on there. But the one thing which I will say though, I'm not a fan of game streaming. I'm not overly convinced on that. Because if you get a period where you've got dodgy internet, you can't play the game.
Well, hopefully with the new passes, you can actually download it.
You can for some. Some of them, I think the PS3 ones are going to be streaming rather than mainly downloadable.
Actually, now you mention that, I will highlight one thing which I've had with Game Pass, because you got like the cloud gaming. So
yes, that's what. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I've tried it because one of the games that was on there that I wanted to play was the new Serious Sam. But I don't know if it's changed now. But when it was first on Game Pass, there was no option to install it. It was just cloud gaming. It was like,
yeah,
okay, what? But why? Everything else is.
That's what it was like for when I played Sonic.
Yeah, but I tried it, and I've got decent internet, so I can stream fine. But I couldn't play it. It was just atrocious. Assets weren't like loading in properly, and like areas just like were really choppy, like gameplay wise. Like everything was out of sync. It's like well, this is not how the game is meant to play. It's like segments and enemies just won't load in. I'd be like halfway through a map and like walls haven't loaded in. I can see like the boundary. I can see like the boundaries where they're meant to be, where like the floor texture is. It's just like no wall. It's just like, it's like yeah, I can't play this. It's like this is not a good example of the game. Because I want to enjoy this and I can't because it doesn't even feel like it's in alpha state. It's just not playable. It's like, so because I wanted to talk about it because I really like the Serious Sam games, but what is this? So that's forever put me off it. It's like, oh no, it's like imagine trying to play Resident Evil, but the zombies haven't loaded in yet. But, oh dear, really dropped the ball.
So I'm hoping that that with the cloud streaming service on the PlayStation Plus, hopefully they make it a little bit more stable and reliable. Because like when I was playing Sonic, or I think I was playing Sid Meier's, like Civ Rev. I was just like, okay, the game would just randomly pause for like 5 seconds while it just buffers the internet. I'm just like, oh, come on, please. Like, I'm mid-air after I've just jumped off a ramp on Sonic. Now's not the time to freeze.
Yeah, well, imagine having freeze in like a Serious Sam where it's like a fast-paced first-person shooter and he just pauses. It's like, what? You can't have that. Oh god. Oh no, I'm just having nightmares about trying to play Doom Eternal like that. Keeps buffering. Like the gameplay is still going on, so you're getting hit. You can't do anything. Ugh, what a nightmare. Don't think about that.
I'm hoping we get the game catalog released at some point. So because I think actually, I think even if they don't release a game catalog, just the idea of just it's just for just 50 quid, and it's literally just an extra 50 quid.
Since he's out in June, I would expect at the very least them to like release what's coming at least a couple of weeks before it actually launches.
Yeah, so hopefully in May we could
games
expect
will be
that.
available. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
actually, that's
surely
only
they've
2
got to
months
do that.
away. That's not far away. Now that I
That's
think
what I
about
mean.
it.
Yeah, it's not far away at all. So.
That's literally like 3 or 4 podcasts away.
Yeah, but this is something they've needed to do for a very long time. So it doesn't seem like far away, but really, in hindsight, this should have launched sooner. This should already be a thing.
Well,
And it's not.
you know what else is not far away, boys?
This
This
a
is
mayonnaise sandwich for Brendan.
this is a big revelation. This really is a big revelation.
Is there something revelation in the title?
Our 1 year anniversary.
Yeah, what episode is this?
This is episode 24.
Oh, so in two podcasts away, hopefully when the PlayStation Now games get released, it'll be our 1 year anniversary.
Yep.
Do we get to relaunch all our podcasts in a sort of Game of the Year edition?
Nah, I feel like we need to celebrate 1 year by doing a challenge.
I think we need to celebrate by uploading something to the sodding YouTube channel.
I will get on it once I get my PC up and running. Honestly, can't wait to do it.
Well,
Yes, listeners, we will put something on the YouTube channel. We promise.
We've still got Chris on there, just basically going, "Oh, hello there."
No, here's what to expect, and then nothing happens.
well, I guess that's another episode in the Bad Boys. We've had a whole load of listens recently. Thank
PlayStation Piracy Plus, that's the name. PPP.
PPPP. No, we've had loads of listens. Thank you. Just give us a review on is it like Apple Music. I was at my grandma's wake, and I was talking to my cousins, and they actually brought it up and were showing me some of the reviews because I obviously hadn't seen them in a while, so I told them about the podcast, and they they found it on Apple Music and were showing me the reviews, and they were some nice reviews from some lovely people. I have no idea who those people are, but thank you.
Can you link them in our Discord so we can have a look?
Yeah, honestly, I want to see these.
Yeah,
I want to see.
Yeah, they gave us some nice 5-star reviews. So
Nice.
Awesome.
Oh,
Also, don't
great.
forget to leave us some comments on our socials. We can actually answer your questions in some of the podcasts as well. We haven't had a few recently, so if you've got anything you'd like us to discuss on the podcast, just message us on Facebook, and then we'll answer them.
Rate our podcast on wherever you want, like Spotify. You can do it on there. See Apple Music. You put it on Amazon, didn't you, Chris?
Yep, we're on Amazon Music and Audible now as well.
There's another 2 platforms as well.
Although if you can't hear us saying this, it's probably because you're not listening to it on there. So.
Yeah. So we're anywhere and everywhere. You will be streaming like you normally are, Chris, won't you?
I am, yeah. Pretty much every day apart from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every day apart from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Every day apart from half the week.
Every day except those ending in a Y.
Yes, exactly. But the ones I do stream, I tend to do twice a day. Yeah.
You'll be eventually streaming again, won't you, Brandon?
I fucking hope so.
Yeah, it's been 2 months according to the Twitch.
Yeah, it has been 2 months since I've last streamed. But I mean, like I said, the actual room office is decorated. We're just decorating one of the other rooms, and then once we've got the Ethernet cable installed, and the logistics are planned on where to stick a wire, then I'll be back up and running.
Yeah, you just got to move the crates of mayonnaise out.
I'm literally like right in the anime Gintama. There's Toshiro. He's basically like the assistant chief of the police, and he's obsessed with mayonnaise. And I just relate with him on a spiritual level. So like he'll have like a bowl of pasta, and all of a sudden he's got like a bowl of mayonnaise next to it or on it. Yeah. He's my spirit anime character for mayonnaise.
Sounds saucy.
Sounds a bit eggy.
Egg.
Egg.
It never goes away.
Neither that or the lasagna.
I had lasagna the other week, and then Mum was like, "Oh, it is a bit warm. I can see why you fainted." Like, yeah.
You know what? I've decided in my head. It's like if we do like a sort of Facebook personality test for this, and like this podcast, it's like you got Dan and lasagna, you got Brandon and mayonnaise, you got Chris and egg. Oh, should we do that?
Just find out what we are.
Personality
do like
types.
Yeah,
Lasagna, egg, mayonnaise.
Yeah, I don't even like egg. That's the thing.
I fucking love egg.
But it seems to be a thing on my Twitch channel.
I love egg. And now I've got one tattooed on my arm.
Yay!
Need to think of that's the third tattoo.
Egg on your face, surely. I mean, less.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you.
Which will make you berserk.
Well, you'll hear us again in another 2 weeks. As always, stay safe.
Unless
Check
you go deaf.
For fuck's sake.
Man,
Yeah, try not to go deaf in the next 2 weeks.
I think I'm
or
most
ever.
likely that.
Or maybe you enjoyed the show more if you went there. But so long as you give us a click, that's all we care about. 1-star review.
1-star review, can't hear him.
Turn it up. Turn it up.
Leave us on.
You know what? If we ever make it big, you'll know we've made it big because someone will do a remix of this, like make a song out of it, like lines from our show.
Right. Brandon, leave us on a high note.
Oh. I don't know.
That was cut out.
I was saying, you left us on a high note. I don't know. Because I'm still using bloody phone headphones for talking rather than
I
my
wanted you
studio.
to say something, but then you just sung a high note.
Yeah, because you told me to end on a high note, so I tried to sing a song.
Right.
We got copyright strike.
Oh. Be safe, guys. You'll hear us soon. In another 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.